it's not even giving a state definitely to Atiku out of these 3 states, and that's a bit. I'll still come to him to ask him why it's not in emphatic terms saying, "Oh, Atiku will pick one of these 3 states." And then Mr. Peter Obi seems to, from the analysis of Barrister Curtis now, would be having a decent showing in Rivers. Lagos, a decent showing, but not so much in Kano State. Do you believe in that analysis, or you think there's something that could be a form of upset in these elections?
Well, a little bit different. Let me start from Lagos State. Registered voters 7,075,192. For Kano, 5,927,565. For Rivers, 3,532,990.
Registered voters.
Because of turnout, as he has already said, but the turnout in Lagos is going to be different this time around. The way we'll see what is happening, because a lot of things are accumulating into that. I must confess. One, for Lagos, there's going to be a lot of battle. We know Lagos is going to be a butcher state in presidential election. Either anybody like it or it's going to be share. Because if you look at the last 2019 election, how many votes? I think it's about 132,000. Difference between APC and PDP. Yeah. Now, Labour Party is also in the mix. And I can tell you one thing: apart from 1999, 2003, 2007, from 2011, at the upper level, at the presidential national, there is no time that the ruling party, upon the mightiness of the name we want to give Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was a good technician in terms of politics. From 2011, Lagos has never won it all by the ruling party in the state.
National Assembly.
I'm telling you, yes. And people don't know that there are some PDP House of Representatives that goes and come back as we speak now.
They keep winning.
They keep winning. Now, don't forget that there are some certain local governments now that even APC in the states, for the governorship candidate, he knows that he has to do extra work if you want to win those local governments.
Which are those local governments?
Number one, Isolo. Oshodi Isolo. Amuwodofi.
Even
let's say because of Ekpe, there are a lot of things going on. They are still trying to work, and they are appeasing some certain people the way they did in the last governorship election. But there are some part of it, and I can tell you also that there are some part of Badagry, especially those ones that Ojo. That is another one. Ojo is another one, and some part of Badagry also. And don't forget, Lekki this time around, Etiosa and Ibeju-Lekki is going to be very, very tough this time around. Don't forget, the House of Rep member representing candidate of PDP in that particular state also contested in the last time, although in another platform. The guy, the musician guy, what's the name? Banky W. And don't forget that the way Obanikoro's son got his own ticket from the backyard, he didn't win the primary election, but at the same time,
so there are people who are not really satisfied with that.
There are a lot of things that is going to go on. So that one is so pathetic, and that does not mean that some part of Alimosho, all those places where you have known Yoruba speaking place.
Okay, in part of Alimosho.
In part of some Alimosho, I'm not talking about the one of Hausas, because that one is going to be mixed. There are some that's going to be here or there, so that one is certain. So it's going to be like Butcher State, but narrowly. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will nick it narrowly.
So it's going to be very slim margin.
Very narrow. We are not expecting to see 200%. In fact, I could tell you the way until if anything changes between now and February 25. As we speak now, you may see a situation where you are going to be seeing around, let's say about 58-57% for him. Then you have Labour Party, PDP also. And one thing again is this that people did not know. Kwankwaso will still get some certain votes
in Lagos
and I will mention some certain area. One, be expecting, apart from Agege, because there is no way he will get much in Agege, but he's still going to get some, but he's going to get minute because of those that are from Kano in Agege. But Mushi, Alaba Suru, Alabarago, and some part of Ojo also, because there are some communities that was also dominated by Hausa, and there are some part of Shibiri also. So those areas, and there are some street votes that will come from
some other areas.
Those ones are the ones that, and don't forget the My 12K2
area too.
So you are going to have some little
votes come from that area.
So automatically, one way or the other, you'll be seeing PDP and Labour Party now, because Labour Party has changed the calculation totally across the country. Don't let us deceive ourselves. There are a lot of some people, they don't have structure, they don't have. We are not talking about emotions here. We are talking about facts and figures. In Lagos here, the calculation, the fear of Obi's party, Labour Party, is the beginning of wisdom, and that's why those Rose Balls or whatever, if he can play his role very well with all those local government have highlighted, I think you can see him jumping up than the expected vote you are going to be seeing from the governorship candidate of Labour Party in the state. So one thing there is that you will see Bola Ahmed Tinubu stripping up.
With a very slim margin. Let's go to Kano State, because Pastor Curtis seems to have thrown it open really, with Asiwaju having a decent showing, Atiku also picking some votes. Maybe a little for Mr. Peter Obi, but from what I got from what he said, he was really not conclusive really about who would pick it up in Kano.
No, I think Kwankwaso will win it.
Okay, give it to Kwankwaso. All right. So do you think Kwankwaso?
That place is going to be.
With the Ganduje as governor?
The way we think Lagos is going to be very hard.
Ganduje was there.
Kano is going to be the hardest for APC. I must confess. In fact, the way I'm seeing it, if care is not taken, even the governorship seat is not even sure for them.
In Kano State,
the way it's going now. One, you see Ganduje going front and back. Then he was looking for vice presidential slots. Immediately he didn't get it. He has to make sure that at least he win his base and make sure that the successor comes from his party. But don't forget, Kwankwasia movement, it is not about party. That's why it's easy for him, for a party that is not up to 1 year, to have that kind of momentum.
But between you and Barrister Curtis and Nuru, the people have said that, look, the same Kwankwasia movement was defeated by Ganduje.
We need to explain how he won.
How Ganduje won?
Yes.
Okay.
We know what happened, that in the first election, PDP gathered more votes, in fact the highest votes, than APC. Is the issue of rerun, and where did rerun take place? We know how violent, we know the number of policemen in that, we know the way they were beating people not to fall for the opposition in those. Automatically it shows
that really,
and something has happened now. Then we are talking about a situation in which Ibrahim Shekarau is also one factor. About the factor, you can't equate it with the one of Ganduje and Kwankwaso, but Kwankwaso, even in APC as we speak in Kano, there are some people in APC, they will vote for Kwankwaso. Kwankwasia is not a political party. It is a movement. It has been in existence since 1998. In fact, it was part of those people that a little bit formed out of the PDM.
So do you agree that Kwankwaso
may have the hedge, but it's not going to be a huge
very light
one
margin, okay,
compared to what, it depends on what Shekarau is going to bring to the table with what he's going to do for the PDP, and it depends on what Ganduje also is going to do for APC. But I can tell you, don't forget, the governorship candidate, although it's still within the court and whatever, is between Wali's son, Muhammadu Wali, and Abacha's son. And I can tell you, anybody Abacha family, let me put it like that,
in Kano State,
supports in two local government that I want to mention, forget is a go. Number one, we call it Taroni local government. The second one is Nasarawa local government. Those two local government, anyone the family supports.
The Abacha family.
Yes, it happens in 2023. In 2003, and they told the Kwankwaso, you may be popular, you will not win. And when we say Taroni, that is the seat of power. It's like having Ikeja. It's a seat of power. He lost, and that was one of the reasons why Shekarau could be able to come in and use 8 years before he now used his own second after the 8 years. So it's and another thing again, even in the last election that brought Ganduje, he was so lucky. Assuming the rerun is going to happen in Taroni or Nasarawa, will have been saying the same thing. So automatically in Kano State as we speak, PDP is going to bring a lot of showing, and also APC too. You can't write them out because they are the ruling party. They have the state resources, but the fear of Kwankwasia movement in Kano is a big. So I'm giving it to AMPP, but it's not. It's going to be very, very.
Let's
narrow.
go to Rivers State.
In Rivers State, I can say it without missing words. It's going to be narrow too. PDP will clinch that state.
Presidential election.
Yes, and it's going to be narrow.
Even with the governor, we
I'm
can
telling
say that.
you.
Look,
wait. One thing that we don't know is this.
the PDP.
I will tell you one thing. If Wike, he knows himself. What Wike is just doing is looking for soccer within the ambience of PDP chieftains. Did you think if APC wins Rivers State, you think it's going to be easy? Don't forget it's 1 week after.
I know.
So it's going to be easy to switch like that. But one thing I can tell you is this. Labour Party is going to have the biggest show. But upon that biggest show, I can still tell you, PDP is a traditional party in Rivers State. I know another thing that is going to make it a little bit easier for PDP in that state. Don't forget, have you ever seen Rotimi Amechi in any of the presidential campaign?
He's been a bit quiet. So.
It's not that he's been quiet. He's not showing in any of the campaign that we've seen.
One wonders what he's trying to do.
What it means is this: there is a train that has passed between him and the presidential candidate, and he never denied that with his body language, with his non-appearances.
Well, he has a stake, you know. He's
He also has a stake. We know, but don't forget that he has a stake, and he still has a court to battle with, you know. So automatically, with that alone, with the court issue, if his candidate is going to be on board or not, then two, with not showing the commitment to APC in Rivers State, is a big minus. And I can tell you, what is going to make Wike more powerful in this election is because of 3 reasons. 1, there is nothing wrong with APC in Rivers State, although there is a little bit crack
within the party,
but they still believe that we are still going towards PDP. Then secondly, the issue that is happening to Amechi's candidates and APC and the rift between Amechi and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a plus to Wike. Then the third one, let's say Wike did not have 100%, but he has 60%. If he tilts that 60% towards any party, that party is going to carry the day in that state. But I can tell you that traditionally is a PDP state. 2, I'm not seeing Wike supporting Labour Party or supporting APC in this coming election. That's time to be corrected, and we are going to see. And another thing, don't forget there is a meeting that has been going on in the last 48 hours. There are some people that are talking seriously on the issue of
trying
PDP,
to resolve the issue.
trying to resolve the issue, because they've removed the issue of Ayu must go is not part of the discussion now. The discussion is that what is in take for us, and both of them are ready to shift grounds. And if that happens, I can tell you. But with what is happening now, traditionally with the structure they have, if he tries it with 7 days later, and he didn't want anything to touch the governorship candidate and the National Assembly candidate in that particular state, Wike knows better, and I know they are talking. But I can tell you that River State, I'll give it to PDP, but it's going to be a very slim margin.
All right, Mr. Curtis, one that thought that there was going to be something definite about, these are really battleground states. Is it safe to say that these are just states with huge voter registration, but they are not really battleground states because the votes are going to be butchered and shared among these 4 candidates?
That's why they are battle states. Because all the candidates are pouring in a lot of resources into the state because they believe that the chunk of the votes are hanging on the trees there to be plucked. But you see, you ask a question with respect to Kwankwaso. Why I didn't give him any outright victory. In a presidential contest, right? Someone can come second in the 3 states and ultimately win the election, depending on what the performances are in other states. He could actually come second in Rivers, second in Lagos, second in Kano, right? And end up with simple majority of votes.
Yes.
depending on what the differences are between him and the others in this state. You see, and this is where the grand game is important in election. You talk about momentum. Momentum is a real part of political life. But the part is that it's based on preparation by the political parties. It's not a fluid. Now, the political party that is able to take out more voters on election day to the polling booth and ensure that they vote for them, that party will win the election in the location where this activity took place. So it's not so much about crowd. I've always said this. Like the crowd you saw in Lagos yesterday, I saw some people posting on Facebook saying it proved that Lagos is a man's land, and I agree. I don't tap into the idea that Lagos is a no man's land. You can't go to anywhere in the country here and say it doesn't belong to some people. But having said that, I think it's important that we know that the crowd that came to Lagos yesterday came from the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja. Politicians all over. In fact, all the hotels in Lagos were fully booked. Of course, Lagosians who live in the city will not book hotels because it was like a big campaign rally, show of strength.
In the southwest,
In the southwest. So again, it doesn't tell what the outcome will be, even though it's a sneak preview of what is likely to happen. But like I say, you see, in Lagos right now, we have three parties fighting for votes. APC has a structure, right? Because it's been in power here for 23 years. But then APC right now is the party in power. It is trying so hard to make the election a choice election. Even the APC at the center is also trying to make the election a choice election. They want to avoid making it an election that is a referendum. They don't want voters to look at it as, examination of their record, of their achievements, you understand? So you still hear them talk about the 16 years of PDP, the 16 years of PDP. Because what they want you to do is to choose between the 16 years of PDP and their only 8 years. Not necessarily looking at the votes. So, but what we see in Lagos here, especially with the population of the young people, the end-class voters, I call them, who are dissatisfied. And this dissatisfaction, we must tell ourselves here, it's not necessarily about Peter Obi. The momentum the Labour Party is gathering is not necessarily about Peter Obi. It's about people being dissatisfied with the two major political parties. These young people, you understand? They are not happy. They are not happy where these two major parties, are taking Nigeria to. And they scanned the field, the political field, and they just came to the conclusion that Obi may just be the least of the evil. I'm just speaking figuratively for. So if that holds out, we're going to see a lot of protest votes go to Labour Party. And that was why some people say that if the Labour Party governorship candidate had teamed up with the PDP guy, they would have put up a better challenge.
Because I actually wanted to ask the question. Sorry for cutting you, Mr. Curtis. Because I recently was speaking with an APC supporter. And what he said is that they are happy about the momentum of the Labour Party. Because it makes the election easy for them to win. Because their own mind is that, look, the more momentum the Labour Party is able to get, it continues to dwindle and reduce the influence and the traditional votes of the PDP. Do you think that kind of thinking or calculation is faulty?
Is he saying that they prefer to lose to a Labour Party than PDP? Is that what he's saying?
No, what he's saying is that there are traditional votes that, look, if you have an opposition in the stature of the PDP, that, look, there are people who on any day would always vote for the PDP. And they feel that the momentum we are seeing are actually people who would have ordinarily voted for the PDP. But now you have a situation where those votes will be split between the Labour Party and the PDP. So it means that, look, it may just make it better for them or easier for them to win. So I'm saying that kind of thinking, do you think it's faulty, politically speaking now?
I think it's a faulty thinking, and I'll tell you why. So don't put anything beyond voters. People think that voters are sheepish and that, the shepherd can just stand in the front and lead them. They also listen to the news. They also see the momentum. They see the movements around candidates. Do you understand?
I'm with you.
As we get close to the election, if they figure out somehow that a particular candidate, though I like him, but I don't think he has a chance of winning. You understand? They will move to the next person that they think is capable of winning the election. So it's not just enough. And what the other problem with that thinking is that if traditional PDP voters, all right, now team up with the NSAS voters against the APC structure in Lagos, well, the outcome is dicey. So I don't think the person actually means what he's telling you. It's just a way of defraying or deflecting the issue. The fact is that for the first time, we are seeing APC under chances of APC, is going to be affected. Not necessarily because the governor hasn't done anything. I mean, I also know that people are saying he didn't do anything, he's just running around, trying to please one man. But the truth of the matter is that the broken clock, the clock we have on the wall, even if it's not working, at least it's correct twice in a day. So one or two things he may have done, okay? But see, that's why I don't want anybody to just go to bed and think that, look, the way we have done it before, we will do it again and we'll win. The 2023 election is unpredictable. Kano, for instance, all right, and you see the northern voters are different from other voters. For them, it's not about money, or it's not so much about money. Let me give you an example. Ibrahim Shekarau I think he was the leader of a teachers' organization in Kano State.
Yes, sir.
And he was fired by Kwakwanso, right?
No, he was not fired. He was moved to a primary school in one village. In fact, I visited him when he was in that school.
Yeah, because he had issue with the governor.
Yes.
And when he decided to challenge the governor, the voters saw it as an opportunity to help, a weaker person, a victim of a powerful man. And so, with all the money that Kwakwanso had at his disposal to influence the election, he lost to Shekarau. In fact, a friend who was in Kano that time, right? They said they would just come, voters would just come, and all they will ask is, "Inapati Buhari?" Just because Buhari also raised Shekarau's hand and said, "This is my man." So voters will come, they say, "Which one is Buhari's party?" They don't even care who the candidate was at that time. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so this is it's not going to be easy. I agree with my brother there, Nuruddin, that APC has an edge, okay, in Rivers State. Like he said, they are just going to have 7 days between the first election and the second election. Recall that, I think it was in 2003, right, that the Southwest governors decided that they needed to help their son, former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
And that became a problem to a lot of them.
And that they were going to team up with him. Only as Bola Ahmed Tinubu
survived the Holocaust then.
Yes. At the end of the day,
even the story of how he survived, Seth, he's still having the hands of somebody he's contesting against now.
So you understand what I'm saying? So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
All right, let's go to the next issue, because again, as it is, I think we just have to leave it open and conclude that it's not going to be easy for any of these candidates. Yes. It's still up for win for any of them if they can do their groundwork very well, reach out more to the people, and then of course work with the political structure in these three key states. Now, INEC, because again, I mentioned that, look, as we continue to focus on the politicians, the political gladiators, electorates, it's important that we don't lose sight of what is happening with the umpire too. INEC has continued to assure Nigerians that, look, this will be the best election ever in the history of the country. But there are concerns from political watchers, from pundits, from observers who say, look, there's a whole lot that INEC would have to deal with at this time. Because again, if we agree that this election is like no other in the history of the country, means that the challenges and the peculiarities will certainly be different. Now, just this morning towards midday, INEC issued a press release. And for sake of clarity, let me quickly just read out the press release. And it's titled, Update on Permanent Voters Cards, PVCs, and Prosecution of Offenders. And of course, this is the press release. The commission met today, which was yesterday, and deliberated on a number of issues. Among them, the date and procedure for the collection of permanent voters cards, PVCs, and the prosecution of persons arrested for illegal possessions of PVCs. Now, the first update on PVC collection, and what they said is, following the end of the statutory period for the display of the register of voters for claims and objections, the commission is determined to make the collection of PVCs as seamless as possible. Let's note that a standard operating procedure has been developed. That a standard operating procedure for collection of PVCs has been developed. This will be among the issues to be discussed and finalized at a retreat holding in Lagos from the 28th of November to the 2nd of December 22, involving all the resident electoral commissioners from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. At the end of the retreat, so it means that, look, the PVCs will not be distributed till December 2nd, when the retreat is concluded. The commission will release the dates as well as the detailed procedure for the immediate collection of PVCs nationwide. So Nigerians, just keep calm. The PVCs will not get to you until sometime in December, if I pick it correctly from here. The commission appreciates the patience and understanding of Nigerians, especially those who registered as voters or applied for transfer or replacement of their cards from January to July 2022. In making the cards available for collection, the commission is also working to ensure that the process is each free. Now, on the issue of prosecution of offenders, the commission is saying that in the last couple of weeks, the Nigerian police has arrested some individuals found to be in illegal possession of voters' cards in some states of the Federation. In one case, the police has concluded investigation and handed over the case file to the commission, resulting in successful prosecution of one Nasiru Idris at a magistrate court in Sokoto, who was found to be in possession of 101 PVCs in contravention of section 117 and 145 of the Electoral Act 2002. He has been sentenced to 1 year in prison. And then the suspect has been charged to court, and the commission is pursuing his case. That's another suspect that was found with 367 PVCs in Kano. The commission wishes to reiterate that it will continue to pursue all violators of the Electoral Act and ensure their diligent prosecution. Now, Barrister Curtis Nuruddin, watchers are saying that, look, recent attack on INEC offices and the spate of kidnappings and all of the unrest we have across the country is a major challenge. What of the issue of corrupt officials? That, look, you may put all the logistics in place, all the technology in place, but human beings will still have to man these things. They would have to still ensure that the process is age-free and corruption-free. And then the issue of PVC distribution, INEC, I don't know what kind of logistics is that? If December 2nd, after your retreat, is when you now start the process of distribution, it means it will be about less than 60 days to the election. People are saying that, look, wouldn't there be panic, rush, pandemonium, and all of that in people collecting their PVCs and get to a point where a lot of PVCs will not be collected before the election? But Sir Curtis, do you think INEC is in order? Do they have the capacity? Should we trust them, or should we get worried?
Well, do you have a choice other than to trust them? Which body will conduct the election now between now and election time? They are the only one we have at the moment, right? Some of the issues you have mentioned is depends on what they can do internally to resolve. Others are beyond them. For instance, INEC is not responsible for providing security in the country. That is for the federal government and the state governments to provide, right? So INEC's basic responsibility is to ensure that it prepares to conduct the election. The processes are as important as the actual voting itself. Now, you're talking about PVC distribution.
And then corrupt officials of
PVC distribution. How seamless can INEC make it? Because if you go out and listen to a lot of people, they are complaining that they cannot even access the distribution centers. We've also heard in the past about how corrupt INEC officials demand for money even before people can be given their cards. And I do hope that they can simplify that process, because if they don't, they'll be denying so many people their fundamental rights to be able to cast a vote. You know, that's important. Now, the other issue is corrupt officials within INEC. This is expected. And I don't think INEC has made enough progress in terms of, how to spot these people and put them out of the system. The few that they caught and have dealt with are those who have been there over the years. Recall that, I think it was in 2015 or 2019, I think it was in 2015 that the former Minister of Petroleum was alleged to have given some people 300 million to change the outcome of voting in Rivers State and in other parts of the country. So this has been ongoing for a long time now. I think INEC needs to do more, a lot of peer review, like what is done in Amazon, for instance. Amazon, colleagues, workers who work with themselves are the ones that assess each other. And they assess you based on so many factors. I think it would be important for INEC to adopt a policy whereby workers can, I wouldn't want to use the word snitch, but be able to give character testimony about themselves.
Well, a bit of whistleblowing here and there within.
Yeah, but we live in a country where corruption is king. And the desire for money making, the desire to live a comfortable life, the desire to show off, these are all the things leading to corruption. You understand?
Yeah, right.
And so it might be that even if one staff sees others doing things that are unethical, criminal in nature, instead of reporting them, you probably want to tap into the process and then benefit from it. But I need to continue to put in place measures that can checkmate this kind of behavior, because if people lose trust in what they are doing, then the elections, the outcome of the election will not be acceptable to a lot of people. And we need to be able to rely on the figures that they put out there as the real will of the people, So on that ground, I want to, INEC they are doing some things, but they can do much more than that, And you see, even this issue of registration that we're talking about, I know that people will say, sometimes we suggest things that are happening in other places. So the fact is that we can't go back. We have to keep moving forward, There are countries where same-day registration, you can cast a vote. After, you have the record. Same-day registration, you can cast a vote. This idea that, people have to register, the process is so cumbersome, you understand? And that is what is discouraging a lot of people from wanting to vote. It's so cumbersome. You register. I have seen a situation where even on election day, people will be looking for their polling booth. They don't even know where it is.
The voter registration, the display of voters list,
and all that.
The information. Because again, Nuruddin, sorry, Mr. Nuruddin, look, the distribution we're talking about is for new registration between January to July 2022. And the press release is saying that, look, it's not even concluded on the standard operating procedure for the distribution until the retreat of INEC and all the recs that would end on December 2nd. And people have been asking, it took almost 6-7 months to do all these registrations. Are you saying that in just 2 months, INEC will be able to distribute effectively these PVCs without issues, without glitches? Because, look, all of the momentum we are talking about has come about as a result of new registrations. And if the process of PVC distribution is not done properly, then we may have a situation where the process in itself has become a problem even before elections day.
Well, since we are talking about INEC, I think I need to give INEC privileged information that if they can work on it, because it's, as Yoruba would say, Ongono Feli Feli. Thank God we are on mainland FM, so it's good that they are hearing it from this station. The politicians are ahead of them.
On their own game, huh?
Number one, they are buying PVC now. That one, people know that. They are buying PVC. what they are just doing is just to disenfranchise those people from that particular area.
So the idea, because again, people laid this allegation, I think, in one of our.
It's a fact.
I think one of our shows where people are saying people are buying PVC.
They are buying PVC.
So the purpose of buying is not to use it to vote, but
no,
to make sure.
They will just make sure you will not use
so
it.
that you can't vote.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
that one is one. Then two, there is one political party also that they are buying it, and they won't give you until a day or 2 days to election.
Okay. So what does that do?
They will now add inducement with it to give you.
So they first hold you by the jugular,
yes,
and then
I'll give
pull you by the neck
money.
and say you are thumbprint.
That
here.
one is two. Then the second one, a lot of ad hoc staff have been asked to be registering. There are some that have been shortlisted.
Ad hoc staff, yeah.
Yes, and they've sent the shortlisted candidate to different local government across the country. Politicians
who are affiliated to political parties.
No, what they do is this: they will ask them to. Politicians are recruiting their political stalwarts to go and register
as ad hoc
staff
of the INEC.
Of the INEC. And if they fulfill all rights, INEC will not know. They've shortlisted some of them. What they are now doing is that they are finding their way to each local government to get the list. To get the list of all those ad hoc staff that have been shortlisted. In that shortlisted list, I try much as possible to take the picture. They did not allow me. There is a column for names, address. You know, they are going to fill address. Then the account number, because INEC will not pay by hand even after the work. They will pay into their account details is there, and this is what if those documents in the hands of politicians, they
can manipulate them.
They will make it as a tool of manipulation.
If they already have the names,
they
the
have
phone numbers and account numbers of ad hoc staff.
Of the ad hoc staff. INEC need to work seriously on that. I know the retreat is going to come in Lagos, starting tomorrow, and
of course we'll try to see how we can get to ask questions from especially Festus Okoye and some of the INEC officials.
That one is one. Then the second one, with the issue of security, just like Barrister Curtin said, it belongs to the government. They should fix.
But INEC should begin to speak up if they have issues with that too.
They will always have issues. How many police officers do we have? They are not up to 400,000. Yes. And who is going to handle all those? It's police now.
So are we saying we leave the issue of security to
that issue of security? Is God help us. The only thing is that if people come as a mass to vote
and defend their votes
votes, there won't be any problem. The police will just sit down and be eating because every party will bring food for him. It's free. That day, police will have food to eat. That one is one. Then two, another one again is this: in the issue of INEC staff.
Yeah.
Just like any other agency of government, INEC needs to purge itself. I know there are some that are going through trial as we speak, but they still need to work
to do more in purging itself.
Majority of these personnel, they are Nigerians. They were raised in this system, this corrupt system. They know the way.
You have 1 minute remaining.
The way they see those people in civil service, in whatever, they are also manipulating process to get money. They also want to be rich, especially when it has to do with the election. But INEC
and I think this is the time.
This is the time.
This is the time. After election, what happens again?
Any time that you see that voters register is missing in a polling unit is a tactics from one INEC official. If you know that they didn't bring the voters card early, or you see manufacturing whatever, they are also mechanically it can happen, but they are also cause of it. And don't forget, they are Nigerians. They also want to make money. INEC need to do more. Then another thing that INEC needs to focus majorly is the issue of the logistics,
distribution of
I'm telling
materials.
You, all these commercial drivers, they always fuck them up. They make sure they make sure that it doesn't work. And the way they normally do their bargain, they will have bargain with them before the election.
And that's one other issue. Moving of logistics around, they are going to work with these commercial bus drivers.
And then they will agree that okay, each bus 30,000. Because they know that is the time they want to make money too. They are also Nigerians. The corrupt system that we are talking about.
Okay, but Sakoti, I see that you also want to, because Nurudeen has highlighted key issues, really. The buying of PVCs, yeah.
I agree. Look, if you recall, I think it was 5 years ago that the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, explained to us how elections are rigged in the country. And this was what he said. He said when an INEC resident commissioner is posted to a state, first and foremost, he comes into the state not having a place to stay.
And then the governor outs him or give him a place.
So he goes to visit the governor, and then he says, Your Excellency, I've been posted to your state, and I'm here. I would like to work with you and all that.
And the man gives him a large apartment somewhere.
And the man called. He said he will call his chief of staff and say, This is our man. Please make him comfortable. So the governor puts him in a nice hotel for the first few days, where he's allowed to eat whatever he wants, drink whatever he wants, bring his friends around. And then he gives him a nice, posh apartment. And then the man comes to the governor and says, Your Excellency, I want to thank you for your kindness and generosity. What can I do? What can I do to help you?
An umpire in the election of the same governor.
Yes, and he says, Well, we have people who are looking for jobs here and there. So we don't mind if you employ them as a
ad hoc
staff. And the commissioner will say, That's fantastic, Your Excellency. So he calls the party's chairman and says, Please, bring a list of our supporters. And those are the people that will be hired as INEC ad hoc staff. Of course, you know exactly what will happen. So, again, INEC should also intensify efforts to make sure that even people they post. Look, I've come to one conclusion that there's nothing you can do to stop those who are corrupt from being corrupt. They will look for ways, but at least let INEC do her own part, so that looking back, they can say to themselves, "We did our best. It wasn't enough, but we did our best." You know, as we speak now, the political parties are building schemes on how they can take down the system just because they want to win at all costs. You are seeing parties submitting the names of ad hoc staff now who are active party supporters. So the resident commissioners of INEC in different states. So the only thing giving someone like me confidence in this election is the deployment of beavers. And if you listen to the mounting campaign against the use of beavers,
yeah, one would because again all through the week there have been reports of the chairman of APC.
Politicians have a plan on beavers.
Abdullah Adamu complaining seriously about beavers.
They have plan on beavers too. Let me conclude it. The plan they have is this: if they have induced the electoral officer, the technical officer of INEC in a particular place that deal with, because it's not the INEC rec that deal with the beavers.
Just, of course, it will not be at the polling
technical person, what they will do, let's assume, I know that K2 is the base of so and I know that we didn't have, that place is not our stronghold. They will send a wrong beavers to that particular place. It will not work. It will not capture people. They will now say, no, they will now make call. They have to exchange it. What they are doing, they are buying time.
Delay tactics. So a lot of people may not eventually vote on elections.
That is it. And by the time they will bring the right one, it's just a few period of time, and it cannot end. You have to end at least 5-10 p.m.
So I think we may conclude that, look, INEC, beyond all of the promises, assurances, needs to really sit down and
then before we cut it up,
they are up against a very big scheme.
The sharing of the PVC, I can tell you,
because I'm wondering why it has to wait till December.
INEC knows that they don't have the capacity and capability
to distribute all the PVC.
I will tell you one good one. Don't forget that in Lagos here, they have only 20 offices.
In Lagos,
you know we have 20 local government in Lagos, 37 LCDA. They have 20. There is no one for LCDA. It's the one that the LCA they cropped from one local government they share. Is a fact. Let me now use Agege as an example. The INEC office is at Arigbanla. Next building to Orile Agege LCDA Secretariat. That is where it's located. That means somebody that is very close to Oba Aknan have to go there to go and collect o.
So why wait?
Now look, if all those registered voters, new registered voters in Agege will now go to that place, and that place was built on 1.5 plots.
So are they going to cram themselves in?
The only best way INEC can use to distribute this is this. They need ad hoc staff, but the problem, they need ad hoc, but these ad hoc staff are the politicians that we are talking about too. They're supposed to go to every ward,
create distribution centers in
every ward.
But that will require payment of a lot of ad hoc staff.
And that is the thing that they ought to laugh, because distribution of PVC is always very, very difficult.
So they should have done this earlier.
And this is one of the edict they will have. I don't know how they want to do. If they said they are going to do it from their INEC offices in every local government, I'm telling you, they are joking. A place like Alimosho, that means you are going to have like 4 or 3 LCDA with Alimosho local government coming together in a place.
Well, let's get reaction of some of our listeners out there. Like I've said, will be a part of that retreat, hoping to speak with some of the resident electoral commissioners, especially for that of Lagos State, and also Mr. Festus Okoye himself, to get put some of these things on their table. We've been trying to reach out to them, but again, it's been a very tough one. I think we can only deal with some of the press releases and hope that we follow up with them on the distribution of the PVC, because again, that's where the election starts. If people cannot get their PVCs, the essence of the entire election itself has been defeated, have been issued. So we'll try to pick a couple of these, but let's get reaction of some of our listeners at this point. We've looked at 2 issues. The first issue is the battleground states of Lagos, Rivers, and Kano states. We have 16.5 million votes up for grabs if everybody turns out, new registration. But again, what we've seen in the past have shown that less than 30% of people actually come out to vote. The analyst here seems to have thrown it open that it's going to be open to all of the frontline candidates. It's not sure for anybody. There are going to be wins here and there, but very, very marginal in terms of the differences. And we are looking at INEC, the umpire. The promises keep coming out, but the challenges are there for us to review and continue to talk about as a way of setting agenda, so that we have a perfect election come 2023. The number to call is 091 36 000 410 091 36 000 410. The 2 issues. Let's keep the conversation clean, please, and have a robust conversation on these 2 issues. The 3 states, do you think they are open, according to our analysts, the way our analysts are saying it? And then INEC, do you think they have a big task ahead of them to really deliver what we can call a fantastic election in the year 2023? Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening. My name is Awolo Christopher.
Okay, Awolo. Good evening. Where are you calling from?
From Shogunle.
Shogunle. Okay, please go on, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. My own understanding and observation is that the 3 big states, for me, my understanding is going to go like this. Effectively, Tinubu will take Lagos State. Then, as for River State, Obi will take River State.
Okay.
Kwankwaso will take Kano State. And what we will declare is the margin of
victory.
The margin of on how they are going to go. Like now, if you come to Lagos State, it could be 60-40. Obi is up to 40% vote in Lagos State. So in River State, the same thing. But as to who will lead where and where, my understanding and observation from experience and from those that have been in contact with, think we take Lagos.
Rivers.
Will take the other one. Then the INEC matter, my brother, is a serious issue. I want to be INEC, they like what Ogadia is saying, so corruption is a big issue in Nigeria. Make a mistake about it. Look at all the analysis, the way they are trying to survive the system. That is the problem. INEC will try, but they will try. INEC will try. So they may have their officials may try to do their best, but they will still have some elements within the system that want to compromise. The bottom line is that Nigerians should be vigilant. That's the only thing I see that will the only way forward.
All right.
So whatever they are coming to vote, let them try and do their best to protect their vote. So that So how the vote may count. So
Thank
that's
you.
my
Thank you, Awolo. Thank you so much, Awolo Christopher from Shogunle. Thank you so much. Yeah. 09136 0000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello,
good evening.
Fuad.
Good evening, sir.
Nice analysis.
Thank
You know, I
Your name,
was
sir?
living in Abuja. My name is Suleiman.
Suleiman. Okay. Where are you calling from, sir?
I was living, I just touched ground in the airport. I was living in Abuja. I was praying not to miss your program.
Oh, thank you.
I was praying not to miss it. Fuad, honestly speaking, you see this KKK, this Kano, Kaduna,
Katsina.
is going to be shaped by APC. Like I said, the power is coming to South. There's no doubt about it. We should not just do and say whether red cap or not red cap. I've got in touch with so many people I call, you know, I have those that work for me, wash clothes and other things, you know, that in the villages now. I normally ask them. They say this is where they are going, you know. I know how not to vote, you know how it is. So I'm telling you, the power is coming to South. Then within the two South, the two candidates, who is the heavyweight?
I can't say.
Yeah, you can't say. Yeah, you can't say it, but we all know. Like I said, the power is coming to the South. Forget about
Okay. So INEC, what Suleiman, what of INEC? The issues we are raising about INEC, you know, issue of corruption, the fact that up till now they are still going to wait for a retreat for the PVCs to be distributed. Don't you think INEC is has a lot of issues to also, and then Nigerians should be concerned too, you know, with the working model of INEC at this stage?
Your colleagues there have already said it all. They have made all the analysis. The issue of logistics is going to be the biggest problem. And you know, the INEC staff, whatever, they are all Nigerian. Like you said, corruption is there. We can't take it away from them. But I think INEC has a lot of work to do. You know, the politicians, they are schemers. They know how to penetrate the people. They are schemers. So we have to very, very, you know, I don't know how they'll do it, but they have a lot of work in their hands. Seriously.
All right. Thank you, Suleiman. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you're welcome back to Lagos. All right, 091 36 000 410. 091 36 000 410. Political Roundtable on mainland 98.3 FM. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes.
Good evening. This is James from Apapa.
James from Apapa, please go on.
Yes. In fact, all the areas of election malpractice that your guests have just pointed out. In fact, it is the area that the INEC should look into it, because all what he says is correct. All what they are saying is correct. And for the assessment, your guests are looking at the election, this forthcoming election, like what has been happening in the past. But I'm assuring you, the election next year is going to be a different way. It will be full of surprises. The Lagos State are talking so far. As the things are going through the public samples opinion, APC may not win Lagos State for presidential. The Labour Party all over. Anything in River State is talking about. River State, I bet you, it is Labour Party that will win. And anything in the entire South so far, including the Akwa Ibom State, that Emmanuel Emmanuel is the campaign manager. It is the Labour Party that will win. I'm assuring
you. So James, you think Udom will sit back and as a campaign chairman or director of the PDP and not win a state? You think so?
Okay, yes. Secondly, so I'm assuring you that this forthcoming election, in all ramifications, it will be full of surprises. Peter Obi will win the election.
Election of surprises. Okay, I think that as your own understanding of it. All right, thank you, James from Apapa. He said the election will be full of surprises. Yeah, I think we have all agreed that there will be a lot of
already having surprises. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that we are going to general election and we are having 4
strong candidates.
And
we're not even sure where the election
and we're
will
not
swing.
even sure where the election is going to swing. No, it's already a surprise.
Or by Curtis, what kind of surprise are you really? Hello, Mr. Curtis.
Yes, what kind of surprise?
Yeah, because James just said, look, it's going to be full of surprises, but do you think there's going to be any surprise that would have staged what we've seen in the past as far as elections are concerned in Nigeria?
Well, I have not seen anyone. This is like just a storm. I don't think it will.
It will mellow down eventually. That's what you think?
I don't think it's going to mature into a hurricane.
Oh, okay. Let's take more calls. But let me just keep 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. This is Ike calling from Lekki Phase 1.
Ike from Lekki Phase 1. Please go on.
Yeah, you see this next year's election, the last caller, because your last caller have said it all. I myself that is talking to you from Delta State, and I do call village every time. The entire south and southeast.
Ike.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, even in Lagos State, yeah, I tell you, people will
I missed you for just like a second. You said the entire south and southeast. You said you've been calling home.
South and southeast. People will play cheat. Even in Lagos State, I bet you will see what will happen next year. My own prayer is that let the voters protect their votes. And what this political INEC is doing, let them distribute voter cards to people. Thank you very much.
All right, INEC is confident that Peter Obi will swing Lagos and south and southeast. Just like Sulaiman said, he's calling the KKK states. He understands the voting pattern. Everybody seems to be so confident of who is going to win the election.
That is the beauty of election
and democracy
and in fact, I'm very, very happy that a lot of youths are much involved now. Unlike the time that they leave it for the oldies and they are the one that will like.
Right.
I pray that the way they are marshalling, they are talking everywhere.
They also vote on election.
They are going to come out and vote
on election.
for anybody they like.
09136000410. Let's get more reactions. Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Kayode Abeokuta.
Okay. Yes, Kayode from.
I greet the guests, the two guests, Pastor Curtis and our brother there. God bless them.
Amen.
And God bless you, our anchorman.
Thank you.
You see, like others have told you, I am seeing some kind of surprises springing up in the favor of Obi. And how do I see it? You see, those days of tradition and convention, I think Obi is going to challenge those days. That tradition and convention that PDP state is Rivers. You imagine what happened when the governor of Rivers invited Obi to come and launch or probably come and do some commissioning
of projects. Yeah.
So he told him, look, you are accepted. Come back here. I will make sure that certain things are done for you or achieved for you, even if he has not said so.
But the same governor has also invited APC people.
He's even told the same message.
I said the same governor of Rivers State also invited APC people. He told
I know, that's why I'm coming. But do you think it will favor somebody from the north than what he was even talking about against IU? Are you with me, sir?
I'm with you.
If you look at that trend, with that frequency by which he was talking, you can imagine that he will favor his own side and somebody coming from the north. Though he has given opportunity because of love and this and that to come and probably do some commissioning and the person of Kwakwanso. Okay. But then Obi is going to probably swing surprises.
Kayode, let me ask you this question. INEC, okay, I think
on the issue of INEC, you see, INEC, I think for all those corruption or opportunity for corruption that INEC we have been exposed to now, that some people are buying the PVC. I think INEC, after their retreats, should look into those areas. They must probably make sure that they don't allow for all this mess up here and there. That the security people should be at alert. If there's opportunity in Lagos for interruption of opportunity given to APC, or let's grab the level playing ground for everybody. And that's why I'm calling for the security people to please look into, so that nobody will be seen as being favorable to another.
All right, thank you, Carl.
Give them opportunity like this. Obi will win 50% in Lagos. In Rivers, he will have 80%. In Kano, he can still have at least 35%.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's Kaode's prediction. 60% in Lagos, 85% in Rivers, or maybe 35% in Kano. Who are we to? It may be saying what we are not saying. Yes. All right. 09136000410.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Yes.
Your name and your location.
Yeah, Peter from Festa.
Peter, right?
Yes, from Festa.
Okay, please go on, Peter.
Yeah, I really enjoy the analysis of your guests and all the things you have discussed.
Thank you.
The first time caller.
Oh, you're welcome. Welcome to the family.
Yeah. Yes. So the issue of this election, if this election goes well at the end of the day, then INEC has done well. If the election did not go well, then INEC is to be blamed. Because from registration till this very time now, people that have registered for so long have been complaining they are not able to get their PVC and all of that. That is a very, very big problem already. I don't know why INEC continue to insist that people should go to their local government to get their PVC. That is a very, very big problem. What happened to various polling booths?
Polling units.
Using polling booths to distribute PVC. That was why we have a very big problem during registration. Because over 7 million people couldn't complete their registration. Like in first year, Amoadofi, people come from very sharp places to come and do their registration. And it's going to be difficult for them to go through that hell again to collect PVC. So they should distribute PVC in a very, very seamless way. That is the only way we are going to have a very credible election, especially in this Lagos and all these big states, Kano and the Cross River.
Rivers.
Yes, it's a very, very big problem. INEC have everything. They have the resources, they have the budget and everything. Then every polling unit is supposed to have a PVC distribution center. Every polling unit in Nigeria.
Okay.
Why
Right,
are they not doing that?
well, we'll definitely ask them this question when they oblige us and give us the opportunity to talk to them. We are trying to reach out really, and we'll continue to do that. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Peter from Festac, our first time caller. God bless you. All right. 091-36000410. 091-36000410. Hello. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, Peter is on the line.
Oh, another Peter. From where, sir?
Yes, I'm calling from Agbado.
Okay, from Agbado. Please go on, sir.
I don't know how a party who has no governor, who has no senator, who has no house of rep, who has no house of assembly member will now win the 2023 general election in Nigeria. I don't know how such a party will win the election in Nigeria.
Don't you think a surprise is possible?
There's no surprise in anything. And they don't have any family structure. So it's not possible. So this is going nowhere.
Peter, what of the people's structure?
Am I not the part of people's structure that's talking to you? So Obi has no structure. It is not possible. Just a state governor. Labour Party has no state governor. So how do you expect him to win 36 states in Nigeria?
It doesn't have
so
to
we
be.
are working on structure. So who are the people that's going to vote for him? Who are the people that's going to work for him? Are we not the people that's going to vote for him? Are we not the people that's going to work for him? So he has no structure. So it is not possible. Don't wait for any surprise. 2023 general election is between APC and PDP. So we should not waste our time.
Okay,
okay,
you don't really have issues with INEC. He's one of the people that still believe it's about structure and that the Labour Party does not have its structure. But I think he has always been saying that, look, we should be careful to think structure is just about what the politicians are doing.
What people don't know is this. Without even the backing the Labour Party, I think in some states, according to political history, if you know how Balarabe Musa wins the governorship candidate, wins the governorship election in Kaduna. PRP was not even in that time. PRP is not even the mix. He doesn't have any House of Assembly member, and he won the governorship. That one is one. Then two, how did Abga became stronghold in Anambra State? At the time, from nowhere. But one thing that people should know is this: either structure or no structure, it's about people, and people are the ones that are going to vote. If it's going to happen, if it's not going to happen, February 25, 2023
is just around the corner.
It's around the corner.
All right. Mr. Kotso, you want to add to that the issue of structure? It's been an ongoing debate.
Well, structures are basically revenue points for distribution of funds to voters. Beyond that, and that's why, it promotes corruption, really. Because you see, you can actually organize voters without inducing them. Have you ever heard of a situation where if all politicians who are contesting election do not offer money to voters? Do you know that voters will still go and vote?
Yes.
That's true.
But then they'll be looking at issues. They'll be looking at who is it that really cares about us? Who is talking about the things that are creating anxieties in our minds? Do you understand?
Yeah, we too.
So this is how you get people interested in the political process. Like you saw in the midterm election in America, why pundits are saying the different thing as to what is more important to the people.
The voters did something else.
They're talking about inflation, the economy, and all that. Of course, these things were important. But beyond that, the voters went beyond all that and chose threats to democracy. Now, I listened to some of them interviewed. Why did you choose threat to democracy against the economy? And they said that American prosperity is actually dependent on American political system.
And if that is threatened, every other thing falls apart.
Everything falls. The dominoes falls, So I think we want to be very careful about the structure. Again, let me remind listeners, in 2014 to 2015, PDP had majority of the state.
And kept telling their chairs that they rule for 60 years.
With the governors. And Nigerians flushed them out. So this idea that because we have the governors and all that, the thing we are talking about Labour Party not having the Senate or governor and all that, are you saying that in a constituency where majority of voters will choose them, if they win the election it will be annulled because they don't have a governor there? Even the governor is not the votes of the people, whether it is in a structured form or in an unstructured form. Is it not the votes of the people that produce the governor?
And the way even our politicians are quick to cross carpets, move from one party to another one.
Let's be careful about this structure. All right. It's important.
All right.
But they are always maintained by funds, nothing more than that.
All right, Barrister Curtis, I get you. All right, let's take two or three more calls, and then we'll move to the last issue on the roundtable. 09136 000 410. 09136 000 410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening. All right, okay. 09136 000 410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How you doing, man?
Fine.
Yeah, my name is Biod.
Biod, how are you doing?
Yeah, what's up, man? I'm all right, man. All about
No, Ruby.
I come from Adela.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. Then, action. How you doing?
I agree to you.
Yeah. Concerning this election, I like to say is INEC does not allow those things to happen.
Biod, can you please speak up a bit? We're struggling to hear you.
Okay. Let me say it again. Regarding what's coming in the election, if INEC does not connive with any political party, or especially the strong political parties, I think it shall be full of surprises. I just want a lot of people will be surprised. All those are talking about structure, no structure. If structure will not vote, it's people that will vote now, so it's very easy. So let's just work out, let's hope and see, and I expect the best for this country. Thank you very much.
All right, so I think Biodun is still talking about INEC doing the right thing. I think a lot of all of these things still rest on the fact that INEC needs to live above board, raise the bar and ensure that the process is smooth and transparent. 09136 000 410. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Fawad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Bestman calling from Amada.
Sorry, the name again?
Mr. Bestman calling from Ejibo.
Desmond, eh?
Yes,
Okay, from Ejibo. Please go on, sir.
sir. No structure or structure. I vote for PAPC 2015. Now I have moved to Labour Party.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you moved your own structure. You have moved your own personal structure.
I have moved my own personal structure to Labour Party.
Labour Party. Okay.
I voted for them. I used my own boss, convince people to go and vote for them, and do everything. Look at our life. Look at the economy. No light, no everything. Life is very difficult for us. So what is the achievement? What's the achievement that I will still go back and vote for them again? I will try somewhere else. And Peter B is very credible candidate that the market is very good to say. So I move. My brother has moved.
Desmond, do you have a PVC? No.
I voted. My PVC is back.
Okay.
I go there every day. I go look at it every day. Every day.
You clean it.
You know what Victor Hugo said?
Yeah.
He said, an idea whose time has come is stronger than the strongest military in the world.
Idea.
Whose time has come.
An idea whose time has come.
Yeah, the strongest military in the world cannot defeat it. And this is the message I've been sending to our people. Let's not assume that this election is going to be like any other before it. This whole idea that because we won it before. You see, sometimes you can become a victim of your experience. You know, when things are changing.
You get overconfident. Hello? Oh, okay. I think we lost the call there. Right, we'll try and reconnect back to him, but let's just take 2 more calls and then we'll move to the second issue on the roundtable. Hello, good evening.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Fuad.
Yeah, good evening, Prince Wires.
Thank you, my dear.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nuruddin, good evening to you.
I greet you, Sir Prince.
God bless all of you. You see, as it is now.
Where are you calling from this evening, sir?
Hello?
Where are you calling from, Prince Wise?
I'm calling up from Amuodofin.
Okay, Amuodofin. Please go on, sir.
See, this next coming 2020, it's not the prophecy. 1979, if you go back, when we have UPN, MPN, PRP, MPP. We take religious colorism, tribal colorism. At the end of the day, MPN won the election. This time around, it's going to look like that. When you see Asiwaju from the western region, the Obi from eastern region, the Atiku and the Katanso from the northern region, it looks the same. You know, PRP and the MPN, they are from the north. The UPN from the southwest. The NPP from southeast. At the end of the day, MPN might be winner.
So you are seeing a 1979 kind of thing.
I'm telling you, it will look like. No, nothing you can say that will tell me that it will not win the southeast. Nobody can tell me that that's why you will not win the southwest. When you go to north today, when we were I'm telling you that as what we try is because those governors they are ready to work for it. Council and the article may take the lion's share in the north. But at the end of the day, I don't see them for this election. When you see APC, PDP, we have structure in every constituency in this country. Look at also election. They want to be head to head. The one that won the debate with the Labour Party on the election day, he never got up to 5,000 votes. So when you talk of consider this thing, the structure we are talking about, I can see 2 parties at that structure. Obi will do, he will try his best, but I feel like a distant third in this election. As it is today, we want to fight with ourselves. Let's say the truth.
Okay, Prince Wise, INEC. Do you have any concerns about INEC? Or you
You
think
see,
it's all well and good?
INEC. It is only Nigeria politicians. The majority of them are election rigger. Only the master rigger always become the winner. INEC officer, some of the politicians be ready to buy INEC officer. On the day of the election, they will look other way. And the politicians today, they will make sure they disrupt where they are not popular. Like what's happening in Ogun now, the bought INEC office, they also the bought INEC office. Who behind this? If you look very carefully, it may be politicians. I know very clear. INEC will try their best. But human being, they charge them with money. Somebody will receive an 100,000 per month, and you see a million. That will change his mind. And what the criminal is to do for that? It is corruption. Whether we like it or not, election will come and go. But can we change the water called corruption in this country?
All right.
Finally.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
Finally,
Prince Wise. Thank you so much. I think you spent almost 3-4 minutes. The fact is, I think he just thinks that corruption. Yes.
He said he knows that Obi may win Southeast. If he wins,
that nobody can tell him Obi will not win the Southeast.
Obi wins Southeast,
and that Ashwaji must win the
Southwest. And maybe Atiku also wins his own.
No, he thinks the North will be a bit tough.
No, he knows at least he's going to take some certain say. What it means is this: for anybody to win outrightly, 24 states plus FCT, automatically it's going to go to rerun.
Anything
you understand now?
Well,
that's the thing. No, that's the calculation.
The conversation that as the election stands, the possibility of a rerun is close to 80%.
It's close.
If we look at
because
all of
no matter what you want to say, all these 4 people, at least they will take one. Let's assume
region.
They will take.
And we have 6 regions.
No, let's even assume that they have to take at least the list of all those 4 will take 1 state.
Okay. All right, Mr. Curtis is back with us. So let's take 2 more calls and then we'll go to the last issue and then we'll call it a day on the show this evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Kevin.
Kelvin.
Yeah.
Kelvin, where are you calling from?
From Ikotu.
Ikotu, please go on, Kelvin.
Yes. An issue of INEC. We Nigerians, we hold INEC responsible from this election. Because the INEC, we are blind enough. We know that INEC is everything.
Kelvin, can you please be more audible and put in a bit of more power,
Okay.
so that we can, have a very clear conversation with you.
Yeah. From INEC, say, those INEC.
All right, I think Kelvin is not really, but I don't know. I think he wants to talk about INEC, but I don't know. He's struggling to talk his way. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, your name, sir?
This is George calling from Ejigbo.
George from Ejigbo. Right, please go, George.
On the issue of INEC, all I have to say, one of your guests that called, you talk about whether they can to polling units. If they can, INEC can do that, it will be better. Because me personally, for instance, I couldn't register at Alimosh, my own list, but I have to go to Apapa. But what I learned there, they are telling me that I have to go and collect my visa at Alimosh. And that Alimosh wasn't easy when I wanted to go and register.
The crowd, right?
Exactly. The crowd is much. I have to go and sacrifice and go to Apapa. But they said for me to collect it, I'm going back to that Alimosh. How am I going to do it? So the idea of if they can do it at the polling units or the polling centers we are going to vote, it would have been better. Then on the issue of this so-called structure, when I look at this thing, every human, if they can go into the street or anywhere ask, you understand that the so-called Labour Party doesn't take if INEC could do the needful. If they do the needful, the issue of structure, are we at the structure? There will be surprises with Spain in this Lagos. The so-called, if I see what you may win, but the margin will be so
It will be very minimal. In the issue of South is now certain. P2B is going to take it. Then North Central, P2B is going to take it. My own calculation.
All right, George.
Then when you come to South, Northeast, and Northwest, then Atiku can win Northeast. When Kwankwaso well, and Kwankwaso may win. So, but Kwankwaso, even as they're talking, Kwankwaso is only in Kano. We are hearing about it. It's not so strong. The Kwankwaso does not spread across those called the geopolitical zone of this thing. So it will be P2B will get more margin than others, as they are saying, because go even this Lagos. Look, forget about the crowd you are seeing there. The crowd, most of them you are seeing there, the decent ones. The decent one here in Lagos, go and ask them. Like almost 60% of them will tell you say it's P2B.
Okay.
Look about the crowd there. Most of them there, you see there, most of them are not having PVC.
All right, George.
That's my own calculation.
All right, you have a right to your own calculation, and I appreciate your call. Thank you so much, George, for that call. You want to respond to that, Barrister Curtis?
No, I mean, if someone said this is my view, why do I challenge his view?
Okay, well. Well, interesting times ahead, really. 09136000410. Hello, good evening. We'll take the last call and then we'll move to the last issue on the table. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Please don't be offended. This is Ike calling back again from Lepe.
Oh,
Please, do you know that those crowds we saw in Suluri yesterday, even my sister that was selling at Oshodi, they were asked to shut down their shop. For them to go, but if you not go, you will pay 10,000 naira. Go and do your finding.
yeah.
So all those cards, most of those cards you see there, some of them will still vote for Labour Party. So go who made me. Don't have just fake crowds.
Okay.
My sister is among them. They were asked to shut, and if you didn't go, you will pay 10,000 naira. Go and do the investigation. All over Lagos State market women, they were forced to go that rally. So that is just the thing. P2B, 2023, P2B will win Lagos State. You say I say it. I came from Lagos. I will call to for you to confirm.
God spare our lives. Yeah? We will all be alive to witness the election. So, okay, let's just take the last issue on the round table. If we have enough time, we'll take some few more calls before we call it a close for today on the show. And the dancing senator, I think we now refer to him as the dancing governor. Eventually, after, like they say, if you fail and you don't succeed, try again. Now is the governor of Osun State, not the state of Osun, because he has said that he has changed it. It has now to be, it's now state Osun State, not state of Osun, and that was changed by the former governor Rauf Aregbesola. He has also frozen the account of the state. He has the election is still being challenged at the tribunal. Some of the conversations are a bit interesting and intriguing, especially as it concerns his certificate. The school is attended and all of that. But again, so that we don't sound prejudicial, we don't really want to dwell too much on that. But in terms of governance, I think we should focus on governance. We know Osun, we know the politics of Osun, we know what has gone on there over the years. What do you think is going to face headlong at this time when it comes to governance in Osun State?
Well, congratulations to Ademola Jackson Nuruddin.
Your namesake.
Imole.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
A lot of that. I'm sure.
I'm
sure the state will be.
I must say one thing. Adeleke family is blessed.
It's a very lucky family.
In the history of Nigeria, even the way that some certain people, politics run in their family, now they now have two persons that have become governor in their state and two senators in their state.
From the same family.
So he's in fact the grandfather, at least the man must be smiling now that but in terms of governance, I must tell you Ademola Adeleke has a lot of things
and work to do,
a lot of things to really hamper on. Number one, he has to restructure the civil service
in that state.
In the last 2 months, the numbers of civil servants in that state has been bolted.
More people have been recruited, employed.
Do you know that they now have professional coordinator for health in every local government? Professional health instructor. The person that was not employed in the last 4 years was now being employed.
They got the employment letter now.
You understand? That one is one. He needs to sit down. He should not rush. He should sit down and look at it technically.
So the civil service has been,
Then another thing again is this. the issue of the permanent secretary, a lot of people have been saying.
He said he was going to sack them, anyways.
Let us be frank with ourselves. Permanent secretary is an appointment. It's not all civil servants that will become permanent secretary. But the only thing I may not agree with him is the issue of if you collect it, then you are sacked forever. For you to sack a civil servant, there is a rule, there is a civil service rule. So the only thing is that you can go back to where you were being appointed from.
He may not sack them, but of course remove them as PS.
Yes, that one. Then another thing again he needs to do is this. There is no beauty in saying a state is a civil servant state. What it means is that governor on that state is lazy.
So he has to work on the economy of the state.
He has to work on the economy. He has to make sure that private investor come to Osun to really invest in that state. There are some certain things that have been killed in terms of agricultural companies in Osun that he needs to call back. Then there are some certain things of natural resources
in the state,
that they have that he must make sure that private investor key into it. Then another one that he needs to work on it thoroughly is the issue of education.
In Osun State.
When Rauf Aregbesola, in any name that anybody that wants to give Rauf Aregbesola, during his 8-year tenure, he repositioned, apart from the little mistake that he did in the area of having everybody to be wearing the same uniform
yeah,
which
was more like a governance joke.
But in terms of appointment that he gave them, all these what other states are copying, this digitalized way of what, he was the one that started it. Every teacher at that particular time have a tab. Every SS1 to SS3 student have a tab, and their educational tab, and they have all their curriculum back to back inside it. So it needs to do more, because that one has gone down. We must confess. Then the road infrastructure, I must confess, anytime that some people are saying that Goyega Isiaka tried, there is no governor that will become a governor of a state that will not do one or two things. But in terms of road infrastructure, a lot of things need to be done. So what Ademola Adeleke, if he has to dance to make it dance, he needs to dance. He needs to dance on
or stop dancing and focus on the job.
No, he can dance if it is his hobby.
Okay.
You don't know, maybe that is what is keeping him fit and happy. He should dance on education and make it work. He should dance on the infrastructure facilities. He should dance on civil service. He should dance also on some certain things, especially in the local government. Thank God that he has promised autonomy of the local government. We want to see how that one is work, because a lot of governors,
they say, but they don't do it.
A lot of governors are eating deep inside the local. I know a governor, I won't mention his name, that immediately they have their money like this, he will just call all the whatever. What did you say you want to do in your, take 5 million for that? Why did you say you want to take 3 million? That is how as if he's dashing them. Majority of our governors are dipping their hand inside the funds of the local government, and it needs to really.
So if he says he's going to look at local government, he should do it, not just say
he should just do it. You should not just say
all right,
it.
But Mr. Curtis, governance issues for the new governor of Osun State, the dancing governor now, assume. What do you think he has to face headlong and concentrate on?
First and foremost, Osun State, or whether the state of Osun.
Yeah, it's now Osun State, according to
as far as I'm concerned, it's just semantics. What is constant there is Osun.
Osun, sha.
Yeah.
Whether the state comes before it or after it.
In the constitution, sir, it was listed as Osun State, not state of Osun.
As a state, yes. And I think his action is based on local sentiments, really. Of course, sentiment is part of politics. Now, the second issue is blocking the accounts. I always say to politicians, all this blockage of accounts when people assume power, there is nothing the incumbent wants to steal that you will not have stolen up until last night. But if it makes you fine.
But by you can't be too sure. Last minute, gree.
Mr. Curtis, I know a particular state overnight where they want to hand over. The day before they hand over in the morning, the EFCC has to know that there are some certain permanent secretary that they dip their hand inside the purview of the state.
But let's go, Mr. Curtis.
My brother, what we are talking about, we are talking about unexpended funds that are in the ministry.
Left hanging there, yeah.
Left hanging in the ministry. That's a different thing altogether.
Okay.
When you go and block accounts in the bank, these guys will not leave any money in the bank. It's still in the state account when they know that you are taking over today. So, like what happened in Ekiti, when the guy took over, notwithstanding he referred to the departing governor as his mentor and brother. he still had to block all the accounts. And I was asking myself why he had to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he was a keystone member of that administration. He knew about everything the government was doing. So it's like now something that anybody who is becoming governor or local government chairman in Nigeria must do. The initial thing that you have to do.
No, it's for auditing.
but having said that, I think it's important that we focuses on governance. The people elected him because they felt that he would do a better job. Oshu is heavily indebted.
Yes.
What is he going to do to pay off the debt? During the campaign, I listened to him. He was asked specific questions about the economy of the state. And this was the answer he gave. I am an international man. I know how I'm going to attract people, musicians from all over the world, to come to Oshu. Yes, I bring my son and I bring David, my nephew. And they're also going to, so he has to understand that politics is like sports in a way. Politics is like love in another way. The woman or the man who expresses love, who without you I will die, is the same person who goes to court tomorrow to file a paper for saying our differences are irreconcilable. The same people who praised him and took him to the government house are the same people who could turn against him in the next 3 months if he's not careful. The judge that as a governor is guaranteed 4 years if he has control of the State House of Assembly and they are not able to impeach him. Now, having said that, what does he need to do? First and foremost, he needs to take a look at the debt burden of Osun State, because with that bloated debt burden, it's hardly anything he can do. Banks are coming, borrowers are coming after the state, And the fact is that we have a bad economy right now globally, but that of Nigeria is even worse. You heard the central bank governor saying some few days ago that from $3 billion a month coming into our foreign exchange account, it is now down to zero. And even what is available for them to share is gradually decreasing over the years. So we need to begin to look inward. And I would suggest that first and foremost, we need to cut cost of governance in Osun State.
In Osun State, okay.
We also need to get the civil service to be productive. Like I always say, there is no civil service in the country, including that of Lagos, that the state will be generating 51 to 52 billion every month, that can generate enough revenue to pay itself because of low productivity. So I will be looking at how I can invigorate the civil service and get them to perform. I want to look at how I can get foreign investors to come and look at some of the mineral resources
in the state.
Working in conjunction with the federal government. And then I want to look at trying to unite the people too. They may have voted, some people may have voted for him. They didn't vote for him.
But the state is divided every.
This community didn't vote for me, and so I'm not going to get them things that could come from the government. Do you understand? The one thing that he has going for him, though, is that he has a brother who is a businessman and who appears to be very calm, That's the widow's father.
Father, yeah.
And I'm sure that he will be there to guide him, because he looks too exuberant for me. Now, like we said, it is not done yet until it is done. The petition is gradually, yes, the tribunal, and ultimately will end up in the Supreme Court. I do hope that he retains the office, and if he does, he should understand that the people are looking up to him. The basic things. That's why, you see, government do not do for people what they can do for themselves. You elect the government to do for the people what they cannot do for themselves. That's the purpose of government. So he should look at the people, their basic needs. He shouldn't go into white elephant project. oh, he's building a cargo airport. He's going to build an airport in Osogbo. You know, I think that's it. How many people are flying into Osogbo, for goodness sake? Where people do not have access to fiber water.
I always say Taraba State built airport, and I'm wondering who flies into Taraba State.
And then the former governor, the late former governor, built an airport for himself, didn't know how to fly well, and crashed the plane. You know, and that's what it.
Some of the things, eh? All right, Barrister Curtis, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. It's been a very, very wonderful discussion, I must say, on Political Roundtable this evening. And because of time, the line is still buzzing. You know, the calls are coming in, but I don't think we have the time to pick. Can we squeeze in maybe one more call? Okay, honestly, we are out of time. I'm really very sorry. You've been trying to reach us. I'm sure, you know, the conversation continues. Next week is another time for us to talk about trending political issues on Political Roundtable on Mainland 98.3 FM. Thank you so much, Barrister Curtis Adigba, for being a part of the show this evening.
Thank you, and hopefully I will be able to join you in the studio next on the side. I can see Nuruddin.
Well, we'll be expecting you. It will be fantastic to have you sit right here with us on the table. Thank you so much. Nuruddin Adigba, thank you so much for coming with your wealth of knowledge, complete understanding of political issues. It's a pleasure always having you on the roundtable.
Thank you.
All right, but this way we'll call it a day on the show. Next week again, we'll bring up trending political issues and have it all dissected, analyzed for, you know, a complete intellectual discourse on the table. My name is Saeed Fuwa. Let's do this again next week.